Once upon a time in Black entrepreneur history, there lived an African-American man named Robert Sengsstacke Abbott. He became the founder, the millionaire founder of the African-American newspaper called the Chicago Defender, which was both national and international. And at the time of its conception, it was the only black daily newspaper in the city of Chicago. Let's get into it. So Robert Sengsstacke Abbott was born in St. Simon Island, Georgia, in the year of 1870. Now, he was the son of formerly enslaved parents, Tom Abbott and Flora Butler. Long story short, his father Tom passed away, and his mother Flora, who was a hairdresser at the Savannah Theater, fled with their son Robert. Why did she flee? Robert's family, after his father's passing, wanted to adopt him. She didn't want that, so she left. After that, she married a man named John Sengsstacke. John Sengsstacke adopted him, therefore his name Robert Sengsstacke Abbott. Yes, he still kept his biological father's name. Now back to Robert Sengsstacke Abbott. He was educated at Beach Institute in Savannah, Georgia, Claflin University, the HBCU in Orangeburg, South Carolina, and he attended Hampton University, the HBCU in Virginia. It's at Hampton University where he studied printing at the urging of his stepfather, because his stepfather was also into publishing newspapers. His stepfather also taught him much of what he knows about publishing newspapers too. Now in 1896, he went to Chicago, Illinois, and attended Kent Law School, where he became a lawyer. After graduation, he started practicing law all around the Midwest. But then he made the decision to start defending African Americans in the newspapers by printing and publishing his own. He was inspired by Ida B. Wells and Frederick Douglass. It was in 1905 that Robert Sengsstacke Abbott published the first edition of the Chicago Defender. And it was delivered hand to hand. He was the sole proprietor. He was doing it all on his own. At the time, there was hundreds on rotation. And even though he was working by himself, he wanted all the African Americans of Chicago to have his paper. So he was working hard, handing them out himself. Between 1905 and 1971, those hundreds of papers grew to thousands, and the Chicago Defender began moving over 25 million papers nationwide and internationally in 8 different countries. So what was in the Chicago Defender? The Chicago Defender promoted all of the good news in the African American community, wrote about discrimination and racism, and even pushed black people to move up north in order to escape the vicious racism that was down south at the time. He defended the black race at all costs. Unfortunately, Robert Sengsstacke Abbott's health began to decline, and he passed away in 1940. From there, his nephew John Sengsstacke took over the Chicago Defender. Now, before Robert Sengsstacke Abbott's death, he'd become a millionaire and was able to put plenty of his family members through college. His mark will forever remain in the world of black journalism.